Before we begin today's program, this video contains graphic descriptions of violence against women. Viewer discretion is advised. Today, May 17th, the Hubballi-Dharwad police arrested Vishwanath Sawant, the accused in the murder of Anjali Ambiger. We will explore the timeline and details of this harrowing incident in today's episode of Straight Up by edX Live. On May 15th, Vishwanath, 22, entered the house of Anjali, 20, stabbed her multiple times in the neck and fled the place. This incident took place on the heels of the murder of Neha Hiremath at the hands of Fayaz, her jilted lover, which sent shockwaves in Hubballi and the rest of Karnataka. According to news reports, Vishwanath had been making marriage advances towards Anjali, but she and her family were against them. It is reported that Vishwanath also allegedly forced Anjali to run away to Mysuru with him. 2 weeks before the murder, Vishwanath reportedly threatened to kill Anjali the same way Neha was killed. Anjali's family then approached the Bendigeri police station but did not file a formal complaint. However, they informed the police of what happened, which they did not act upon. After Anjali's murder, Renuka Sukumar, police commissioner of Hubballi-Dharwad, suspended two senior police officers for not acting on the oral complaint. Teams were then formed to arrest Vishwanath soon after. In the meanwhile, locals staged protests demanding the arrest of Vishwanath and showed their support to the family. As mentioned earlier, this murder took place barely a month after the murder of Neha Hiremath on April 18th. The same murder had given rise to political mudslinging, with the BJP and its supporters calling the murder a case of love jihad. However, these political brickbats and grand gestures of consolation and compensation miss one point. Two young women have been murdered by their jilted lovers after both of them refused their advances. Therefore, the question we should ask ourselves is this: what gives men the feeling of impunity to react violently when their advancements of love and marriage are rejected? How can our political, religious, and law and order institutions, as well as the society at large, take violence against women more seriously and act to prevent them? We have Annanya Chatterjee, a sociology scholar from Delhi University whose academic interests lie in the fields of gender-based violence, amongst other things, share her thoughts.
Now, it is important to understand that gender-based violence does not exist in a vacuum. It does not exist in isolation. None of these incidences happened at a mere second. There were various precedents that were created for this violence to take place. It is interesting to think of what happened when the Nirbhaya case came to light. The entire nation erupted in protests. But years later, women, children, and people from the LGBTQ community still find them constantly being vulnerable to violence. And why is that? Because gender-based violence exists in subtle as well as outrageous forms. And till the point we do not address these subtle, not so evident forms of gender-based violence. For example, stalking a woman. For example, forcing a woman to marry him. For example, being extremely abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive in romantic relationships. Till the point we do not talk about these incidences of violence is when we give way to incidences like these, like murders to happen. It is interesting to note that Anjali's parents had actually gone to the police to complain about Vishwanath, but the police did not take their complaints seriously. What does that say? What does that say about the judiciary? What does that say about the policing system, about this entire system that talks about protection of women? Is the fact that it fails to prevent violence against women because it somehow sort of plays an active role in invisibilizing and legitimizing that kind of a violence. Since they did not take this very seriously, the fact that Vishwanath has been threatening Anjali, and before that, Vishwanath has been following Anjali and has been constantly pestering her to flee, to go away with him. The fact that as a society we did not take this seriously is because we have a case like this. It is important to understand that gender-based violence, male violence, is an active tool for the reproduction and maintenance of gendered hierarchy. That is to say, male dominance and female subordination. And it is high time that we consider gender-based violence as a continuum, as a spectrum, where all forms of harassment, abuse, no matter how subtle, must be taken with utmost importance.
The National Crime Records Bureau in December 2023 reported that there were over 4 lakh cases of crimes against women in 2022, which is a 4% jump from 2021. Without corrective measures, women like Anjali and Neha only end up as statistics in these records and nothing more. This is all we have for you today. Please like and comment on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to edX Live for more updates on the world of education. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Mask up, stay hydrated, stay safe, and see you next time.